You know, these days, this really isn't a joking matter. No one is immune to the layoffs sweeping the country.
That's right. Whether it's your spouse, your friend, or even you, everybody knows somebody who has been affected by this economic downturn.
Yeah, and it's hurting. Joining us now to give out essential tips to dust yourself off and get on the job search is career coach Mary Abbajay. Hey, Mary.
Good morning. Good morning.
Like we said, this really is hitting everyone. I mean, I know people. We all do.
Unprecedented in our lifetimes.
That's right, unprecedented. I mean, the numbers are coming out every day. They're just looking grimmer and grimmer. I believe they expect unemployment might reach 10%, you know, within the next couple years. And that's really, that's a stunning number.
Now, if someone has just been laid off, you know, after going to the bar and spending time in your bed and crying, what do you do next?
And by the way, that's an important element because this is a really tough thing. A lot of what we are and how we feel about ourselves is tied up in our job and being an employed person. So when someone gets laid off, the psychological impact is huge. So you should take some time off, lie in bed for 3 days, go in bed and grieve.
Have the ice cream, just do whatever makes you happy.
Take care of yourself and move through. All right, so there's a couple things you have to do. You have to get your money, right? You have to get your money from your employer, whatever the benefits are that they're giving you, your severance, make sure you take care of all those 401k issues, health insurance, get that.
One question about that. So how do you determine whether the severance your company is offering you is indeed the right amount, what you deserve?
That's a really tough thing because you may not be able to get as much as they would during a good time, but every person should know how much vacation time they have. You should know your health benefits, anything owed to you, any like travel expenses, any education reimbursements. You should be keeping track of that. So get your money, get your contacts. I know we've talked about this before, but if you get laid off, chances are you're leaving within 30 seconds of getting that notice.
Yeah, a lot of times people get the pink slip and it's
boom,
pack your boxes
security's walking you out.
You mentioned one other thing, and I want to clarify that health insurance. A lot of people are forced to get COBRA. Which carries over the health, but you have to pay for that, but it's really expensive.
It is.
So my question about that is it safe, depending on your health, to forego health insurance?
That's a great question, and that's going to be for an individual. Each individual have to make that decision for themselves. If you have a family, you want to make sure that people are covered, like your children are covered. There are things you can do to help create a lower financial burden on your health care. You can get a health savings account. You can get higher deductibles. You should definitely shop it around. Don't assume the COBRA is your only option. And don't go without health insurance. I mean, that's a risky thing. Maybe if you're 25, you might.
It's different when you're young and single, but for your family, I can't imagine.
I would definitely, it is a hard call, and I would definitely not take that decision lightly.
Next situation. Say if someone is working at a company, and I have friends that are in this situation right now. Basically know that in 2 to 3 months they won't have a job. How do you plan for something like that?
You plan right now. That's exactly the key. You plan. You start acting now. You start networking immediately. You make sure your resume should be up to date. You should be looking for a job. You should be making cold calls. You should be sending resumes. You should be networking. You should be acting as if you are unemployed now. Start getting ready. You should also be looking at your budget. You should be thinking about what do I have to spend my money on and what do I not have to spend my money on. I would start paring down financially immediately.
And how about any changes you should make in your life if you are not laid off, if there's nothing on the calendar that you can see, but you are just aware of the economy?
I'm just scared.
I do. I think everybody should be right now making sure their resume is up to date. I think everybody should be making sure their contacts and their networks are up to date. I think everybody should take a hard look at their financial house. I think you should cut out expenses that you don't need to have. I mean, I think in today's day and age, there's a lot of expenses we think are necessary, but really aren't. You know, I'd be looking at your cell phone plan. I'd be looking at your cable bill. I'd be looking at your entertainment expenses. And I think everyone should pare down and start saving for that rainy day. It could be tough times.
So cut the corners where you can.
Cut them where you can. And make sure, I mean, both of you have your resumes up to date? I mean, I know your jobs are pretty safe.
I saw him working on that earlier.
You know, but I mean, everyone should be ready at a moment's notice. Have to be out there pounding the pavement. And
I get updated in a matter of 5 minutes.
There you go.
So I'll do that if the time comes.
But that is a good point. And I think one thing that we don't think about is we have company cell phones. Many people have that. A lot of your database is on your company computer. The people you know.
That's right. Even if you do nothing else but go home today or go back to your office and you print out a hard copy of all your contacts, that's better than nothing. Make sure you have things like that, because if you do have to start looking for a job, you're going to need all the tools that you can.
A lot of people think that right now, say if I got fired right now and had to go off and knock on people's doors, it feels a little weird to be asking for jobs from the people that are in the same seats. How do you go about that?
You just do it. I mean, but you have to do that because everyone's going to be looking for a job. And the thing is, people actually truly like to help other people. So when you are networking, you are knocking on doors, something I expect if I knocked on your door, that you're going to have a job, but you're going to actually help maybe knock on Doug's door and say, Doug, my good friend Mary's looking for a job. What do you know? And Doug will be like, well, I don't have anything, but my friend Randy might.
So might.
That's exactly how it works. It's a numbers game. You just have to keep pounding and keep knocking and keep trying.
You know, I've heard of so many people my age or older who are that are looking for jobs, and older people. I mean, age discrimination is illegal, but it's a fact of life out there.
I think you're right.
And people who are older should be expected to be looking for longer periods of time for a job. I
think that's exactly right. I think that, you know, the days of finding a job in 3 to 6 weeks are gone. I mean, there's a few lucky people. Your job search might take 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. And one of the important things during that time is to keep your spirits up, keep trying, get out of the house. You know, after your first couple of weeks where you're all like, I'm job searching, you're going to get depressed. It's going to be tempting to stay in the house and hole up on the couch and eat ice cream. You have to get out. You should do volunteer work. You should go to events. You should, anywhere that you're around people, it's not only going to lift your spirit, but it's going to also raise the chances that you might luck into something.
So do something.
Do
Mary
something.
Abijay, great tips.
This is all information that we hate to hear and hate to confront, but everybody.
We need it.
Nobody's immune from it.
Nobody's immune.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.